You were Miss Venezuela in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
To be really honest, it's not like something that I chase. I was like, that is not for me. My mom, she was like, why you want to miss this opportunity? There are so many women, they want to be in that place and you are rejecting. So that she called my grandma, my aunt, and so all the family started to be like, please, like, do it. And I was okay. As a human, we always try to be acceptable for the other ones. And that maybe can change who you are, because in a way that you create connection, you think that you need to be what the people expect for you. And then you start to live in a life that is a fake life. And for how long you can live that fake life, I don't fix anywhere. I remember one day I wake up and I was like, dude, what I'm doing this for? I mean, like, and I start to contemplate the idea to suicide.
Oh, wow.
I use my book as an instrument to inspire people to maybe they are in the same place that I was when I was super depressed, and how this practice helped me to go out. I found the passion in teaching yoga and changed the life of the people through this practice that changed my life. Facing the fear, I feel, is the most hard part of like come back to training and come back to any injury. Overcome a fear is like reborn for me.
Yeah. When you're facing your fear and you get on the other side of it, that is life. Vanessa.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for doing this.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Awesome.
It's huge for me because it's my first podcast in English.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel very grateful and blessed. So,
Thank you.
And you're from Venezuela?
Venezuela, yeah.
Okay, so primarily you speak Spanish.
Always.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Always?
In Miami, like,
Yeah, you don't even have
English,
to.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm the minority when it comes to that.
Okay,
Yeah, for sure. So I just want to tell people a little bit about you first,
Okay.
and obviously you can expand on it as we get into some conversation. But you were born in, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but Caracas, is that how you say it?
Yes,
All right, Caracas, Venezuela, and moved to Miami in 2015.
Yes. No,
No,
2012.
2012.
Yes.
Okay. You're a dentist
I'm dentist.
and a yoga instructor.
Yes.
Currently teaching at Ahana Studio. Which I think we're doing an event with y'all, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Congratulations with
Yeah.
Dawn. Yeah, because she's training here.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
So we're looking really forward to that.
It's a good collab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It
Nice.
complements what we do very well. So
I love that.
yeah.
Mhm.
You also host yoga retreats and events, including corporate sessions, private classes, and collaborations, kind of like what we're doing. In addition, you are deeply involved in public relations and fluent in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Previously, you had a career as a model and TV host, which helped you build a strong social media presence as an influencer. You were also the author of I Am Enough, I Am Vulnerable, where you explore vulnerability, embrace imperfections, and highlight the strength found in authenticity. Moreover, you dedicated time to the community as a collaborator with charity foundations such as UNICEF. What does that stand for?
It's a Stanford for a charity foundation in Venezuela. They help kids. They don't have shelter, so they like kind of help them.
Amazing. And Operation Smile.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
part of
huge
the
one.
dentist.
It's worldwide.
Okay. Amazing. All right. So
Yes.
that's a little bit about you. Obviously, you're very talented. I mean, dentist and yoga instructor and influencer. So that's really cool. How did you go from like the whole dentist thing to yoga? Like, what was that
It's
transition?
a huge story, but it's part of what I am right
exactly,
now.
where we want.
And
We love stories.
Yes, I graduated as a dentist in Venezuela, and then I moved to Miami because I was in love, and my boyfriend, he was living here, so love bring me to Miami. So I'm so grateful for that because that changed my life a lot. My country right now, unfortunately, is in a no good place. So I moved to Miami, and I started to work as a dental assistant. And then a friend of mine, she told me like, there are like a huge opportunity in real estate business, and there are like a lot of people from Venezuela that are investing in Miami. Why you don't try to do something? And I was okay, perfect. So I get into real estate. I worked in real estate for probably like 8 years with huge companies here, on Sotheby's and Dora Puig.
Oh, Sotheby's, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
was nice. And then I get in love again with another guy.
At the same time, or
No.
Okay.
Time passed like probably like 8 years later, and we are engaged. But he is Jewish. And
He's what?
Jewish.
Jewish?
And I'm no. So
Yeah.
he told me like, okay.
Shana Tova. It's the Jewish
Yeah,
New Year
Shana
today.
Tova.
Yes.
So he told me like the only way that we can be married is if you convert.
Oh wow.
And what is about that? I mean, like how it is. So he explained me, and sounds like kind of easy. And then I have an interview with a rabbi, and I start to feel like very connected with the religion because it's very family oriented. And my parents are from Portugal, so Portuguese community is very, very like family is so important. And it's something that I was missing here in Miami because my parents they are not living here. I came here by myself. So I started to feel like this connection with the religion, and a point that I moved to Israel. I converted in an Orthodox way. I was living almost 2 years and a kind of like place that only women live in to learn the religion. And I was wearing long sleeve. I was not able to see men in the eyes. I changed my life completely because I don't know how to do the things in a halfway.
Right.
I always like.
You're either all in or you're not.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if it's good or not, but it's who I am.
Yes.
So, well, I was very immersed of the religion, and then I convert and then come back, and his family don't accept me because for them you need to be like born as a Jew. That was not enough for them.
Wow.
So I get very in a depressed moment, like really bad for so many aspects. First, of course, like you broke up with a person that you were supposed to marry, and then I changed my entire life. And I was living a convert life, try to get into in a community. They reject me because I was not born as Jew. And I found myself like lost, and I was, what am I doing?
Right.
Like, now what it is. And then like,
What year is this?
like probably like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I was very, very bad. Like for me, like I don't fix anywhere. I don't fix in the Jewish community. If I go out of how I can come back to my life that I had previously, if I feel so a strong connection with this religion right now, and I feel good doing what I'm doing. But then like living in Miami, being an Orthodox Jewish is super hard.
Yeah.
First, it's hard to work because not so many. Now I think so a little bit they are more open because a lot of Jews from New York move here, so the companies are more open to that. But back in the days, companies there, they don't understand that you need to take so many days off, and then you can work Fridays, Saturdays, and Fridays and Saturday.
Right.
So it was so much pressure to me, and all I started to feel like super, super bad, very depressed, and a point that I was like having like anxiety and really bad thoughts. I remember one day I wake up and I was like, dude, what I'm doing this work? I mean, like, nothing makes sense for me. So I can found like the purpose of life. And I started to contemplate the idea to suicide.
Oh, wow.
And I was okay, I think I need help. So I visit so many psychologists and psychiatrists here in Miami, but it's not I'm against, but all of them want to give me like a pill, to pass the situation. But I was okay, I want to take this, but what do you want to cure the the root of this problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is not what I want. So I visit so many of them until finally I found a doctor that she asked me if I was trying to meditate in the past of my life. And I was like, no, never. I never tried that. Because I was very, very, very into the sports. I did triathlons. I was riding bicycle, swimming, like all this stuff. So I was very active.
And you were doing that at this time?
Well, no, when I started doing like my Orthodox life, you can, because you need to wear like sinew that is.
So you did that prior?
Yes.
And then, I mean,
yeah,
again, I'm not trying to be the psychologist, but that might be why you're depressed, because you stopped doing all that exercise,
yes,
you know?
Of course, like 100%.
You know?
Yes, I mean,
because that is an antidepressant.
100%.
Right.
So she told me like, why you don't start to meditate? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do that, because I'm not like that quiet to do that. And she was try or whatever. So she invited me to go to a space they meditate. So I was meditating there. And I remember I went there like probably 2 weeks, and I was like, this is not working. I can't find it. Until finally one day, it's like something happened, and when they ring the bell that was passing like 45 minutes, I was like, really? Like so fast. I was like, I feel like it was 5 minutes for me. So I started getting very into that, and I tried to read and study more about the benefits of meditation and how it works in your brain. And because I started to notice how good it started to hit on me, and that I can say that saved my life, like 100%.
And was it pure meditation or yoga meditation?
No,
it was pure meditation.
At that moment, I was only 100% meditation,
okay.
Guided meditation. I was sitting for 45 minutes straight. With my guided meditation, I tried like so many different kind of guided meditation. Since, I don't know, like Joe Dispenza and I don't know, Calm and all these apps and so many videos that you can find on YouTube. And it started to be like a habit for me. And for me, it's like, I continue to do that. That is my daily routine. I wake up and I meditate for 5 minutes. And since meditation is related with yoga, I started exploring a little bit more about, okay, let me see how is the physical part of this, that is the yoga. And I did like a yoga teacher training, 200 hours in Spain. And then I did like another in Hana. We done 200 more. And then I went to Spain again and did 75 hours. And then I went to Thailand, 300 hours. And
so you were all in on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and this is before dentistry, or is this after?
No, I mean, I'm dentist. I graduated as a dentist in Venezuela.
Okay, so this is
2008.
All right, so you've been a dentist for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah. So this has happened like the last, I don't know, like the last 9 years probably. So it's gonna be like a change for me, and did you in that period, was there ever a moment where you like let go of Judaism? Well, yes, in a point, then I started to understand that, I don't know, like I was trying to fix in a place that I was not meant to be. And I think so the beliefs that you have in your mind and you have in your heart, you can carry with them without being accepted with a society. So I truly believe there is something bigger than me. And I very respect all the religions, and in a kind of way, like I feel like they are all the same with a different roots and a different perspective. But I'm more open to that, and was good for me. I mean, it was a good background. Now I understand, and I'm able to figure out and understand the behaviors of the people where they came from, depending on which religions they are. They think and act in different ways.
Right.
So was a really nice experience for me.
And then so once you like dove into the yoga and meditation and you spent all that time training, then when you came back to Miami, did you think like, okay, I must start my own yoga business, or how did that work out?
Well, the thing is, like, I'm not really into to have a physical space right now. Maybe in the future, why not? But right now, I'm working in Hana as a yoga teacher, and I'm more into create events and corporates and collaborations. I found myself like I love to collaborate with people, so I found myself like more open to do those stuff to be like on a studio. It's I don't know. I found like a little bit bored have place. So when you collaborate with so many people, there are different kind of people that you are able to teach and that you are able to share your wisdom and that you are able to hold the space for them. So it's like it's the beauty of the diversity when you work in different areas that is like really bring me like passion and joy.
I like it. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you back.
Have you ever meditated?
Have I ever meditated? I've yes.
Yes.
I haven't done very well at it.
Okay.
I've done some of the like Wim Hof stuff, like the breathing stuff. I do like that.
Okay.
As far as like pure meditation, I tried it oftentimes, several times, and I can't get into it.
How is the I saw that you have like a workout, like kind of like I don't know, like I don't know how to say this, like a workout way to train people. You incorporate any mobility and stretch into that?
So we're typically like more of resistance training and HIIT and high intensity training. And that's why it's very important for us to like educate people on what to do outside of what we do. But we definitely do mobility stuff like with our physical therapists on site, and some of the personal trainers do a lot of mobility work. But as far as in the class setting, there's not a whole lot of mobility stuff. I mean, we do a little bit of stretching before and after, but nothing crazy.
And what are your thoughts about it?
Oh, I mean, I think it's very important. But I also think it's dependent on every individual. I think that we're all built different. We all have different injuries. We all have different things. So like for me, like I broke my back twice playing football. So I have to have fluidity in my hips, but rigidity in my back. So sometimes like yoga and sometimes certain stretches can kind of make me worse than well. So I have to stretch in a very particular way. So that's like me personally. And then I've found other people are, you know, like maybe have longer torsos or shorter torsos or long, you know, like people are just built differently. And it's kind of like, I've always said this, like if you take like people that are into yoga, like really into yoga, and you line them all up, and then you take like bodybuilders and you line them all up, and then you take like soccer players and you line them up, you kind of like, if you put them all and then you mixed them all together, and had like a 5-year-old point them out, you could probably point out who's who. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a certain body type that seems to be favorable for yoga and but I'm not saying. I mean, I don't mean that it's not for everybody. I'm not saying.
When I start to practice yoga, I was the most unflexible person. I was not able to reach my toes.
Yeah, you're stiff.
Like 100%. Like I was, oh my god, how people do that.
And now you're like, you can be a pretzel.
So I feel like...
Well, your body adapts for sure.
Yes. The body adapts. I asking you this because I know you're training like so many professional athletes, and lately all my private clients start to be like soccer players, football players, and I start to see these professional athletes that start to get more involved with yoga.
Definitely. I'm actually one of my biggest clients. I don't train anymore, but one of my biggest clients back in the day, Joe Johnson, who's really popular. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, NBA player. Opened up his own yoga studio. So and now it's called ISO Yoga. So his nickname was ISO Joe in the NBA, and now he has his own place called ISO Yoga. And he's obsessed with it, and he's like a physical specimen. You know, he's like 6'8" and ripped, and he can, you know, do all that yoga stuff.
Well,
so,
I get very surprised when I teach my first class for this soccer player, and he was like so flexible, and I was like, oh my god, this because I was expecting, you know, like a stiff person, and he was like super flexible, and I started to ask him, and he told me like lately, like probably the last 5 years, they start to incorporate like so many mobility exercises into the training.
Yeah, and also too, like Like even when I played, there were some guys, I kid you not, like 6'4", 300 pounds that could like do the splits. You know, so again, you just never know like what people are capable of. And I think everyone's capable. If you commit to anything and like truly be consistent with it, then your body will adapt and you'll see results, you know? So it's just about sticking to it and finding what works for you.
And then I start to asking them like if they are practicing yoga for the benefits of the mobility and the stretching or for the mind.
For the mind, yeah.
So they say like both.
Yeah.
But they found like pretty change in the behavior of how they feel when they end to practice yoga, more in the mind than in the body.
Are you into hot yoga or just regular yoga?
I do both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like you need to train your body and your mind to be in a hot yoga, and I understand that for some people they don't feel like comfortable, because if you are like super sweaty person, so then you start to get stressed about like you are sweaty around the place. So start to get in that side of yoga, you need to first start for a normal and regular class of yoga that is not hot.
Right.
So you start to training your body and your mind, how you feel, and then like maybe explore a little bit more.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. So I'm going to take you back just a little bit. You were Miss Venezuela in 2010. Amazing. And a finalist in Miss Universe 2011, placing in the top 16. How did those experiences shape you into who you are today?
To be really honest, it's not like something that I chase. I mean, like it's something huge in my country. And if you ask this for probably like 80% of women that are from Venezuela, that are chasing to be a Miss Venezuela. It was not my case. I was like that is not for me. I'm dentist. I was like working in a dentist clinic, and I changed my gym. I started training in a gym that I was a little bit more close to home, and then I changed to training in a gym that I was a little bit more close to the office dentist. And when I changed to training, I started training there are this trainer that he was the official trainer of the Miss Venezuela. So he started to approach me and ask me, "You don't want to be Miss Venezuela?" And I was, "No, sorry, that is not for me." And he was like, "You sure?" And I was like, "Yes, no, I mean, no." But he like was like very like, persistent. And I remember one day I want to train in the night, but the thing in my country is like dangerous, I say. So I asked my mom, like, I want to go to the gym, but it's a little bit late. Can you come with me? So I feel a little bit more safe. And she was, yes, of course, let's go. So I went with my mom, and the guy come to my mom.
Oh, he got the mom?
Yes.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over.
And your mom was like, you're doing this?
Yes, my mom, she was like, why you want to miss this opportunity? There are so many women, they want to be in that place, and you are rejecting. Like, then when you get my age, you want to regret that you never did that. And I was like, oh my God. So then she called my grandma, my aunt, and so all the family started to be like, please, like, do it. And I was okay. So I wasn't that for a little bit pressure of the family, not because it's something that I want, but I'm so grateful for the experience. It's not like now I'm like the most like sociable person, but I was super shy, like super, super shy. So that helped me to a little bit be more open. And living the experience of being the Miss Universe was huge. I mean, you are in the same country, in the same space, and the same time with 82 women around the different countries, like around the world. So the cultural, how you say that, like the change culture.
The differences in the culture.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I have friends around all the world, so it was a really nice experience.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I promote or I say, because I don't want the people that define me who I am from that.
Yeah. It's good to have on the resume though.
Yeah, well, I don't add it, so, but it's okay.
And so tell me a little bit about like how you're balancing being a dentist and a yoga instructor, or is it?
Right now, I'm no more dentist.
Okay.
I'm a full-time yoga teacher. I found the passion in teaching yoga and changed the life of the people through this practice that changed my life. So for that reason, I write my book. They call it I'm Enough, I'm Vulnerable. And I use my book as a instrument to inspire people to maybe they're in the same place that I was when I was super depressed, and how this practice helped me to go out. of the situation that I was.
So tell me a little bit more about the book, because I love just the title.
Yeah,
And
I like to write since I was kid. Like probably I started writing when I was 14, and it started to be like a habit for me, like a journaling. And then when I was very depressed, I started writing a little bit more. And the psychologist told me like, don't stop to write it because this is really good for part of your therapy to release. And when I started feeling like much better, and a cousin of my mom, he commit suicide, and I was like, wow, this is huge, and I feel like super bad because I was not able to have any conversation about that with him, telling him like, maybe I understand you, I've been in your place before. And I was like, there are so many taboos outside to talk about this and the importance of the mental health. And I was like, I'm shy and I keep my life very private, but I think so I can help so many people if I share my story. So for that reason, I decided to write the book.
You know, exploring vulnerability, embracing imperfections, and discovering the strength and authenticity is something that like I talk about a lot. And so just talk about like a little bit about like embracing imperfections and discovering the strength in your authenticity, because I feel like there's a lot of power in those things.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing is, like, as a human, we always try to be acceptable for the other ones, and that maybe can change who you are, because in a way that you create connection, you think that you need to be what the people expect for you. So I don't know, here in Miami is like, you need to be beautiful, you need to be famous and rich, and like, I don't know, like all this stuff, like, you know, like, yeah,
right.
Like, and it's and then you start to live in a life that is a fake life. And for how long you can live that fake life? You really happy who you are? You are showing yourself as you are. So when you start to understand that you really connect in a deepest way with people, when you show your vulnerable part, that is the good and the bad things that who you are, and the most authentic part of yourself, like, I don't know, your dark and your light.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start to be around people that really resonate with you, and your life starts to be like so much easy. So it's more about that and sharing everything. I mean, everything that you be past for so many years, not only the good things. Social media is a great instrument to build brands and create connections and do like these collaborations, but at the same time has the negative part, that is people only show the beauty of the life,
the highlight reel.
Yes. Yep. And so it's so hard, like, show like when you are in a dark place or when you don't feel good. And I feel like society are craving for real people, like really real people.
Mm-hmm.
So part of what I try to explain in the book is like the beauty of the other ones is the most pure and raw version of them.
Well, I think when you're authentic, also you find your people.
Yes.
And when you're fake, you find the wrong people.
That is what I try to start
and
to say.
And then
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then we become who we hang around with.
100%.
So if you're faking it and then you end up following and being attracted or then attracting the wrong crowd, then you almost start to change who you really are, and you start to form this fake person, and that continues to grow. And then on the inside, you're just dying. And instead, if you walk out your true authenticity of who you are, you might not be for everybody. And I think that's the biggest thing nowadays is everybody's trying to be everything to everyone. Like, and we're not for everyone, you know,
No.
like there's people that can't stand me, and like, good. Okay. You know, it's okay. So, and I think it's because I try to live as authentic as possible and being, like, tell the truth and like be vulnerable, like you said, and just live authentic. It's very important. Very important.
Yeah, it is. And then like, and all in all ways, even like as a yoga teacher, there are so many yoga teachers out there, but there are so many yoga teachers, they try to be a specific yoga teacher because that teacher is famous, is popular, but you can't copy anyone. You have your own like magic, and that is what really people is gonna connect with you. So it's in yoga, is in a relationships, is in a work, is in a family, is that is like show as you are, accept where you are. I remember when I moved to this country, and I was sitting at a table when I was a realtor, in a huge table with a bunch of like wealthy people, and they're like talking about a huge project, and they asked me where are you, they asked me where are you from, and I feel ashamed to say that I'm from Venezuela, and I'm from Portugal. So because I speak Portuguese, so like okay, I can say that because I was feeling ashamed to say that I'm from Venezuela, because I know there are like so like some people, they have a perspective of view about South American people, and I was okay, like I don't want they put me that label that I'm like those ones. But then I was like, why I need to hide who I am? I mean, I'm Venezuela, and if they give me the chance to know who I am, they want to know that I'm not maybe the same person they know that are from South America. So you can be the difference of where you came from. So that take me a long time to really like own and embrace that, because I was always feeling like shame to say that I'm from there.
Really?
Yes, of
That's
course.
very surprising, actually,
I mean,
to hear.
If you can ask,
Because I've never heard anybody say that about Venezuela.
but
Like,
you can ask. It's not only from Venezuela, like
Yeah.
Colombia, Mexico. Like some people, they feel like
and it's
shame
crazy
and
too
fear,
because
and like to get rejected.
yeah. Well, it's crazy though to say that because I mean it's not crazy that you're saying that, but it's you are you,
Yeah.
and there's only one you. So Venezuela doesn't identify you. You know what I mean? The fact that you're from, like I'm from Alabama. So just because I'm from Alabama doesn't mean I'm like everyone from Alabama, because we're not all the same. Like,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I know, but that what is the human do? Human do is like kind of like put people with labels. So for that reason, it's again the same thing about like when people ask me if I was Miss Venezuela, and I feel like yes, but I don't want to get like that label. It's the kind of same, because then they think that you are with some characteristics and some like behaviors and some conduct that the almost all women that participate in the beauty pageant are, and it's like no, I mean no, everybody needs to be the same.
Yeah.
I met a guy the other day, and he was like super nice guy, and he told me like, oh, I need to be honest with you. I met you before, but because I Google you and say like you was Miss Venezuela, and then I go to social media and I saw that you have so many followers, I was like, no, I don't want that. That is very Miami girl, and I was like, oh my god, like, so you see, it's like people.
Yeah, but
they do
that's his problem, not yours.
Yeah, of course,
So,
it's not mine,
yeah.
but it's for that
But
reason.
I understand what you're
Sometimes,
saying.
yes.
Yeah, definitely understand what you're
Yes.
saying, and it's true because, you know, like when you have a bunch of followers and you have this like history, like to sometimes to guys, it's like, oh well, I shouldn't even bother with that because you know they're getting so much attention already, or what have you.
But
So
you
it
need
is
to
a
give
label.
you
for
need
sure.
to give a chance to people
Yeah.
to know who they really are, and then
Definitely.
like yes, and then like use your platform for social media for that, for show who you really are.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I started to doing my Instagram account back in the days, because I was in the modeling career. I'm modeling for so many like swimsuit brands, so all my pictures are like swimsuit. But then I started to realize men thinking this because I'm selling my body, like like look who great I look, and I was like, no, it's not about that. It's because I work that. So right now I'm very conscious about what I post in social media, because I don't want to I don't want to attract people into my life. They only see me as a beautiful body. I like, you know.
So
I'm sure if I want to get like 2 millions of followers, I can start to posting like, you know, my back picture, my all back pictures in the day, you know, like since it, because it's gonna be like boom, of course.
Yeah.
But that is not what I want right now in my life.
Well, so let me ask you this. So like kind of like this guy, all right? He Googled you, he sees your Instagram, and his perspective is, oh, she's Miss Venezuela 2010. She has, 300,000 followers on Instagram. She's a swimsuit model, whatever. And then, that's he's projecting that on you. So if you were to tell people like right now who you are, like who are you? Like if you're not that, then who are you?
I am. You can go to my social media, and I'm sure that you wanna find who I am in there. And it's
No,
the same
I
person.
want you to tell me who you are.
Okay, I mean, like, I'm not what Google say. I'm Vanessa. I'm from Venezuela. I'm a daughter of parents that are from Portugal, with very culture, like very family oriented. That I work so hard to be who I am right now, and a point that I work not only like professional way, but as stuff like how my brain work. Because when I was in that depression moment, I found like the levels of my serotonin was like super low, and nobody told me that. Only this doctor that she was able to do all these tests that I found that I have those levels. So when I found that I have that tendency to be like depressed, and how I unable right now to manage that balance with my meditation, because meditations allow you to produce more serotonin. It's like this beauty of knowing myself like so deep is who I am right now. A person that is always curious about things, to learn, to skills, like learn new skills, to help another ones to improve their life, to hold the space for other people, to know the importance that maybe there are so many people out there that only need to you listen them, and try to not minimize the problems of the other ones, because maybe you hear someone and you see like, oh my god, this is stupid. For you it's stupid, for them it's like the entire world. So hold the space is something that I'm who really are right now, is that person that you can trust.
So I would say like, I mean, it sounds like to me like when people view you, they're seeing the beauty, the outside beauty, and then the accomplishments. And then what you're asking them to see is what's on the inside. Is that a fair assessment?
No, I mean, it's okay. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, who is going to give you the chance to speak with you and know who you really are? And these the time is so important for people. So spend time to talk with someone, as we are doing right now. There are not so many people, they have this time. So what is the easy way to know who is that person? They Google the person or go to the social media. No, unfortunately, yeah, it is. So that is a shortcut to know someone. So for that reason, I'm always try to embrace people, to use those ways to be very authentic. Try to don't pretend to be someone. It's the only way to like close all the roots to be in this world and receive what you really need to receive. That is, be around the people that is your tribe, people that resonate with you, where with the same alliance and principles and values and mindset as you are. When you get your injury in your back, when you try to recover, there are something that help you to, because I guess I was frustrated for you that don't able to play again. So what are the tools that you use to improve your mind to overcome that frustration?
Yeah. So the first time it happened was in high school, and you'll actually appreciate this because the first time it happened, the doctors told me you'll never play football again, you'll never be an athlete again. And so I ignored them. And then I went to a chiropractor and he was like, hey, take these bone factor 1 pills. And they basically were like calcium, magnesium, zinc. And he's like, take them like M&Ms, just take them all day long. And so I did that. And then I also, what the medical doctors told me to do, I did the exact opposite. So they told me to not work out, not stretch, they basically told me to like be bedridden, basically. I mean, it was ridiculous. They were like, you can't do anything. So I immediately started lifting weights again, stretching. And when I got hurt in high school, I was like 220 pounds. And then that was my junior year. And then when I went into my senior year, fully healthy and cured myself, I was 210 and I could do the splits. Like I was super flexible, super strong. Like I totally changed my body frame. Like I just like, and I did everything they told me not to do, But
where you found that is train your mind?
So people ask me that all the time. And I think I've always, and this is crazy to say, but I think pain has always kind of been something that has been in my life for some reason. Like, and then I've always found a way to find purpose in the pain. So like to use that as a
motto, like
like I hate the word, I don't like motivation, but like use it as, most people use it as an excuse, and I use it to push myself further, So it is very mental. Like when you're in pain, it's a very mental battle with yourself. And so it's the conversations that you have with yourself. And then I've always found that the more engaged I am in exercise and in sports and stuff like that, the pain leaves. So like some of my worst pain ever, if I can just get about 20 minutes into a workout or whatever it is I'm doing, then I have no pain. And then, I mean, sometimes it comes back after the workout, but so I used to find peace in that. Obviously I don't, I'm pain free for the most part today, but I think I always did a good job of not making an excuse for the pain, but instead finding purpose in the pain. And then also too, like when anybody tells me that you can't do something, I'm like, watch this, So I think I'm almost positive I get some kind of joy out of showing others that yes, I can. When you say, oh, you can't do that, then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, watch. So I think there's something, that competitive nature in me that likes to do things that people think is not possible. So that was part of it. I think when I broke my back the second time, that was a lot more difficult because it was a worse. So the fracture in high school was a hairline fracture, and then what happened in college is it was a complete fracture. So in high school, it was just it wasn't all the way broken, and then in college it was fully broken. So that was a lot more painful and a lot more, took a lot more time to get over, and it ended my career. So I went through depression too, stopped eating, got into a little bit of drugs. I mean, nothing crazy, but just a little bit of partying, like that kind of thing. And then, but it only lasted like a couple of months because I was like, what is this? This is not fun. So, and then again, I got really into health and taking care of yourself and doing, whether it was chiropractic or osteopath or, certain like, it's not yoga, but it's similar. So like I would do, like I read about these like 8 exercises that these monks do. And then, I read a book called The Gift of Injury by Dr. Stuart McGill. And it's very similar to yoga because you're doing a lot of planks and certain stretches and things like that. So got into that kind of stuff. And then obviously just wanted to become like a physical specimen too. So, tried to work out like crazy and get as strong as possible and stuff like that and be in great shape. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answered the question, but yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's answered because, I mean, my question was because when you are in pain, it's hard to go out of the bed if you have physical pain. And put yourself out there and doing something is that battle between your mind and the pain. So I was so curious to know like how you overcome that.
Yeah, I mean there was 4.5 years of 24-hour pain. So like if we were doing a podcast back in the day, doing this, I would have shooting pain. Like I couldn't sit down. I'd have shooting pain going down my legs. And it's miserable. Like it's not fun at all. But again, it's like.
But you feel fear at any point?
So I battled through vertigo and headaches.
Okay.
And that was real scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you because when I was doing triathlons, I fell down here in Key Biscayne in the back in the bike, and I broke my temporal bone. And the temporal bone is the bone more strong than the body. People think that it's the femur, but it's the temporal bone.
Oh, wow.
So the helmet broke in the half. So I lose the 80% of the audition on the left side, and since that I get like tinnitus, that is that beep and my ear 24/7. But when you start to having tinnitus in the beginning, since your brain he don't understand what is happening, you get vertigo, and that was the horrible part of me. Yeah,
horrible.
It's horrible.
It is. Yeah. So imagine I was training people, like I was training professional athletes while the room was spinning like crazy. And then I would go through training like 8 to 10 people a day. And then I would go home and call 911. I would walk in the door, lay in the bed and call 911. And then the ambulance would come. And most of the time they would just come and just calm me down and, take all my vitals and stuff and say, you're fine, just relax. And then just wait for it to go away. And sometimes it went away. And then sometimes I would have to like knock myself out somehow, like, with either weed or something. Like I can't remember back then what I used to do, but that was a very scary time. That was about 3 months of hell, and it made you, what made me personally, it made me, you think you're going to die. Like it's weird. It's like you have this like kind of anxiety and panic attack when it happens. Cause you can't control anything. Yeah, like, and you're just like, and then it's miserable. It's just not a good feeling.
Yeah, it's no.
But again, I never stopped working. I never, the only person that knew was my wife, now girlfriend at the time. And I always showed up and I always kept going. And I always said, I'm not going to quit. Like I refuse to quit. I'm just going to keep showing up. And then, thank God, my osteopath, he started working on my bones back here and injected, a couple of places, and then I got a beamer. I don't know, have you ever heard of a beamer, Matt?
Oh, what it is?
So you have like, this will be a terrible, I'm not a doctor, so this would be a terrible description, but you have these big veins that you can see, and then you have little tiny micro veins all through your body. And if we took all these micro veins and stretched them out, they would go 4 football fields long. So we have tons of little micro veins in our body. And what the beamer does is makes those micro vessels work at a high level. And because if they're not circulating and working at a high level, then we're not working at a high level. And after 1 week of getting the beamer, and you do it 8 minutes a day, my vertigo and headaches went away. Yeah. And then obviously the combination of him working on my neck and stuff, but it definitely, and I haven't had it since, and knock on, so, and it's been like 9 years since I've had an episode. So it's been awesome,
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
Facing the fear, I feel, is the most hard part of like come back to training and come back to any injury, because I get this bike accident and come back to the bike for me was terrible. I was thinking I was and now I'm doing like yoga, and you need to do like the handstands, and I was like, oh my God, I want to smash my face in the ground and I don't want to be there again. Yeah. So I was like with so much fear about like, facing anything that I can hit my head. I was always scared, but found the beauty of overcome that fear is it's so like, I don't know, it's a feeling like overcome a fear is like reborn for me.
Yeah. There was a quote, I just said it to these guys, about when you're facing your fear and you get on the other side of it, that's like, that is life. Like that's is because most things, if we're really being honest, scare us, like, talking to a stranger and not knowing what's going to happen is a little uncomfortable, but it's like, when you do it, it's great. And it's like, so most things on the other side of fear are wonderful. But it's like, you have to step into that. It's kind of like, I tell people too, like getting uncomfortable. So not just fear, but also, putting yourself through hard things. So whether that's sauna, yoga, cold plunging, through a hard workout, but like doing hard things makes life better. And it just
go out the comfort zone. I mean, believe it or not, be here for me is kind of go out of my comfort zone, because I know my English is not the best. So having an interview
in English, your English is great.
I was sitting here and I start to sweat, and oh my God, I have my armpits like wet, and like, all this stuff that like, okay, but then at the end, like it's put yourself out there and overcome that fear.
Yeah. So taking a little bit more of a deeper dive into yoga in general, like, what do you think are some practical lessons you've learned on the mat or in yoga that you've been able to apply to even life? Like, how has the practicing of yoga and meditation transferred over to how you live your life?
One of the things that maybe sounds crazy, but I believe so much, is like the body talk to you and the way that you live in your life. And for example, I remember when I started practicing yoga, I was trying to do my split, no? And then I was in this class, and the teacher, she was like, oh my God, the hips are the space in the body, they hold your traumas. And your right side represent your masculine energy, and your left side, your feminine energy. And I was like, oh my God. I'm a dentist, so for me to beat that stuff, I need to go to books and read a lot and understand if this is true or is blah blah blah. So I go back home and I was like cha 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 cha, and I was like, oh my God, yes, but I have so many students that talk like it's related. And then when I start to believe in this stuff, and I start to study my body, what is this? So when I was doing my split, my right side, that is the masculine energy, that is only not your masculine, like it's the relation that you have with men in your life, was more like easy than my right side, that is my feminine energy. And it's because I have so many issues in that moment with my mom, and I know that I need to heal that. And I was in therapy in that moment, so I asked my therapist, and I was like, I need to work on this stuff with my mom right now. I can't carry this anymore. And she was okay, let's start to work on that. So since I heal my relation with my mom, people think it's bullshit, but I swear for my entire life, I went to a practice yoga, and I was so happy with my mom, and we are started having like a best relationship. Like now I can say that she is my best friend. And I was in this yoga class, and I was like, boom. And I was like, oh my God, really? That this is real? So, and then like another thing started to happen. Like for me, doing my back bends, that is open heart, it's so hard for me because since that I get that broke up in my relationship, like when I was engaging, I always like put so many walls. So falling in love for me, it's a process. And then I started working and overcome that fear and really like give, and like no many. I mean, I don't care how many times they wanna break my heart. I know I wanna come back to be a normal person again. So I know it's like a period of time, and then you pass a grave, and then like everything is good. So when I start to understand that and working on that, my body starts to be like more open to in that way. So I believe so much the connection of your body into what is you living right now, and the power of your mind, how you are able to training your mind to come back to your breathing over and over again in your yoga mat is helping you to get a little bit more flexibility and surrender yourself into the asanas, into the postures. And you can use that tool out of the mat every time that you are facing like a difficult moment. It's so easy to react. So easy. But if you step back and take a full deep breath in, I guarantee you, your perspective is going to change. So that is what I'm passionate about it, and that is what I try to teach the people when I teach a yoga class.
Do you still do your podcast? No?
Why?
I was just curious. You hosted a podcast called On Balance.
Uh-huh.
And what was it about? And what are some key things you learned from that? And what came out of that?
Was a good experience. I started my podcast when I was pandemic, 2020. And I was living in that in Minnesota in that moment. So I was living there, and I came to Miami to record the podcast with the people. So it was in the middle of pandemic. People was afraid to be close with other ones. Right. So I was in a huge table, like a little bit more long than this. And I bring all these guests to the podcast to talk about a little bit more of that, like human behaviors, like mental health, breathwork therapy, like Hoffman breathwork.
Wait, what now? The what?
Like Wim
Hof?
Wim
Some
Hof,
breath work?
Yeah, breathwork. I don't know, like this guy that he's from Colombia is in a Spanish podcast, and this guy that he is from Colombia, and he talk about the Enneagram, the type of personalities that you are able to, people that are able to be. So there are like 6, 7 type of personalities, and as much as you know what are your number of the personality, like it's more easy to understand your ways to relate with other ones. So it was really cool experience, but I found like it's a lot of work. So for the reason I was asking you, people is always open to come to talk to me, but it was a lot of words, like of time, most of all, like I spent like a lot of time. And at that moment, because I was living in Minnesota, so came to Miami to record and then come back. So it was kind of like.
When did you move back here permanently?
4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah. And what were you doing in Minnesota? Is that another love situation?
Yes.
Yeah. You moved there
love,
for You moved there for love?
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't.
That's why you're back though.
No, I'm back. Yeah. Miami is gonna.
Did you leave you left the love in Minnesota or?
Yeah.
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 I don't think anyone finds love in Minnesota, but
why
no,
not?
I'm joking.
It's so beautiful.
I know, I'm joking.
The winter is terrible.
Yeah,
cold.
That's what I meant by that.
But this is super nice.
You like Minnesota?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I like the mountains, so hiking and the lakes and all this stuff, like summer and like autumn is beautiful there.
Wow.
Winter is hard.
Brutal, yeah.
Yes, super cold.
Did you go to any football games while you're there?
Yeah, with the Vikings. Yeah.
They have a really nice stadium.
Huge.
That stadium is beautiful.
Yes, and huge fans. So
and they're nuts. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you like football?
I mean, like, I can watch, but it's not something that. Yeah. I'm more into soccer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're into football.
Football. Yes. The football from South America. Yeah. Because I mean, like for Portuguese, it's huge. The soccer. So I grew up with my dad watching all these soccer, like games,
matches and stuff.
Yes, like every weekend.
Oh wow.
Like every weekend. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's your team now?
Like in soccer.
Soccer.
I can say like for Spain, Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not Messi.
Yeah.
But it's like for us, like Portuguese root family stuff, like Cristiano Ronaldo is a huge, like, like
massive.
Yeah. So he came from the same island that my parents from, that is Madeira, an island in Portugal. I highly recommend you people go there and visit. Imagine that is the Hawaii of Europe.
Oh wow.
Beautiful.
And what's the name of the city?
Madeira.
Madeira.
And Madeira is an island.
Island in Portugal.
All right. Stunning. And because it's no like so popular right now, so you still have the opportunity to find the beauty of the nature, like the raw, that is like like tourists.
So we'll cut that out of the podcast so nobody knows. until
well,
we go.
now I'm selling
Yeah.
there, but yeah, so he's from there. So it's like that connection that
Yeah.
he came from the same place of my parents. So it's, yeah.
And right now, single?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
You enjoying it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's next for you?
Well,
Like, what's the goal for you, like right now, and where do you see yourself? And
I'm working so hard and build my brand as a yoga teacher. So I'm hosting my yoga retreat in January and in a huge luxury hotel. The name is Gran Velas. They are from Mexico.
okay,
It's
where is it gonna be?
it's gonna be in Rivera Maya.
Rivera Medra.
And
where is
Rivera
that?
Maya is in Cancun.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm hosting that in January. I'm so excited.
I have a lot of connections in Cancun, so
Really?
give me all the information and I'll help you with that.
Okay,
So,
and then I'm partner up. This is a secret, but now it's gonna be public. With Jonah Cass, that is, you need to interview him. He is a very famous yogi. He is
Johnny Cass.
Jonah Cass. He is the face of Nike for yoga.
Oh wow, that's big.
So it's big, and he is such a cool guy, young but entrepreneur, like huge.
Yeah.
And I did my 300 hours with him in Thailand, and we are partnered together to do like a huge yoga class and the Panthers Stadium.
Okay.
Yeah.
So put this on your radar.
Okay.
I want you to do a big yoga class at my new Little River location.
Of course, I would.
So
love
let's
to.
definitely
Oh
do
my
that.
God,
And we'll
thank
set up
you.
like we can do whatever you want to do. We can do
Okay.
workshops, we can do panels, we can do just a class, we can do cold plunging after, we can do sauna, like
That
whatever.
sounds
So let's
amazing.
definitely do something.
Thank you so
That'd be
much.
fun.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
love that. Yeah.
And we can do it more than once too. So
of course.
yeah. And just you know, I your story is powerful, and I especially think for women. What would you say, you know, if other women are in that dark place? You know, do you have anything to kind of leave with
Don't
them?
feel ashamed to talk about it. Whatever that you have in mind, don't diminish what you have in your mind, and be open and talk about it and write it down and ask for help. Is nothing wrong for ask for help. It's like nobody's gonna reject you because you are asking for help. Nobody's gonna reject you because you say that you thinking maybe and your life. There is so common when you start to speak about it. You found around you probably like a lot of people, they have those thoughts in their mind and they never talk about it. So mental health is so important, and we need to stop to see that like a taboo or rejection. Is very common, and it's something that you can overcome when you start to be like more open to talk about it.